Hey everyone, it's me, Vinny. In case you're wondering, I'm at my bed. Here's my MLB standings board, and I came to talk about what just happened a couple hours ago at the Brooklyn Nets Boston Celtics game at the TD Garden. As we all know, the Brooklyn Nets now have a 3-1 series lead over the Celtics. Kevin Durant had 42 points. Kyrie Irving had 39 points. And Jason Tatum, and even though it was a losing effort, he went up with 40 points on the night. Amazing players all around on both sides of the court. But what everyone is talking about, and rightfully so, is what one Celtics fan did after he saw that his team lost. You see, after Kyrie Irving walked out, yeah, I know he stepped on the Celtics logo, but whatever. A Celtics fan in the stand decided that it would be the smartest idea to hurl a water bottle at the former Celtic and miss just by a few inches away from his head. It looked like it was empty, but still, it was aiming straight at his head. What if that did hit him? What if that did happen? What would have happened? Well, either way, you don't want to take that chance, and rightfully so, the fan was promptly arrested. Good. Hopefully gets lifetime. He's going to get a lifetime ban probably, and as he should. But at the same time, I'm noticing this. There's been an increase, like ever since the playoffs started, and even around the play-in tournament. There's been a lot of these incidences of just poor fan behavior against the opposing team. Like if you remember, there was that Sixers fan when Russell Westbrook was going to the locker room after he hurt his ankle. A Philadelphia 76ers fan threw some of his popcorn at him when he was going to the locker room. The fan was banned. I think he was banned for life, or at least banned for a year. Then you had a New York Knicks fan decide to spit at Trae Young, and he was by courtside. I don't know if he was banned for life, but he was definitely banned from that year. I do know that the three Jazz fans that decided to heckle and hurl racist comments at Ja Morant's parents were banned for life, as they should. And now you have the Celtics fan who looks to be banned for life as well. And the one thing I did see Kyrie Irving talk about is, on the one hand, yes, you could say that. On the one hand, you could say yes. Kyrie Irving has history with the Celtics. He was with the team. It didn't end well. He said he was gonna be there for a while. He didn't. And look at him now. He's with the Nets. He signed them with the offseason. After the other offseason, after Kevin Durant decided to go there. And what we're seeing now is he's doing well with the Nets. He's probably going to be an All-NBA team member. His team, many people see making the NBA Finals. Of course, when you have, James Harden and Kevin Durant and Blake Griffin on your roster as well, a lot of people could peg you as, a team to beat in the East. But at the same time, he's doing very well as well. But what I found really interesting is that, when he made his comments saying that it showed some racism, I thought about it for a bit. Now, granted, you could just say, oh, Kyrie Irving just spurring controversy. You can maybe say that, but if I'm being honest, I wouldn't be that shocked if I don't think he's that wrong. All the fans that have done that to all these players, they've all been white. The Sixers fan, he was white, but I think that was just stupidity. I don't know if it was racism. Knicks fans, similar situation. The Jazz situation, that was definitely racism, especially with the anger that was directed towards his parents. And the Celtics fan, we don't know. Kind of looks the part, but I'm not going to make assessments. It's funny that the Celtics and the Jazz are two organizations whose fan bases are known for very racially charged remarks. The Celtics, that goes back with their history, and Boston has their reputation of racism, even though it's in a really blue state. And the Jazz, of course, Salt Lake City, Utah. I mean, that's Mormon Haman right there. It's a lot of white people there, and it doesn't shock me. It just really doesn't. I mean, Utah is it's a red state. It's a very traditional Republican state, like more like a Romney Republican, not really a Trump Republican, like a more traditional, like 2000s, early 2010s kind of Republican. Yeah, it's very traditional. I mean, they still eat Jello. I mean, it's very Mormon centric, very conservative, so it's not that shocking. But still, it doesn't shock me that those two areas are the ones where you're having these racial. Well, Jazz, yes, but Celtics, it could be implied. It doesn't shock me. And also, those three cities, New York, Philadelphia, and Boston, of course, those are three of the oldest franchises in the NBA. Sixers being the only one out of those three to not be originally from Philadelphia. They were from Syracuse, but they've been in the Northeast as long as they've been around. And, they're known for very, very passionate fans, very, very devoted fans. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is just the actions of a few fans. These actions of a few fans do not make up of the majority of these fan bases. I think whoever is keep trying to convince themselves that are fools, and they really need to get the head out of the clutter because that's just a few fans, man. It's only just six fans. You're going to get these six fans out of the thousands, millions, the millions of NBA fans, and you're going to justify and claim that they make up what the average one is thinking? Get out of here. That's just not true. You should not do that. It's ignorant. And yes, I understand. With the Sixers fan, that was just stupid. It's popcorn, but still, you're really going to do it? Like, the Knicks fan that spat at Trae Young, I mean, yeah, he said some stuff against the Knicks. Who cares? Is that really worth spitting on him? The Celtics fan to throw that at Kyrie Irving. He stepped on the logo of your team. Grow up. It's a business. He beat your team. Your team lost. Get over it. The players moved on. Shows it's you. But the Jazz fans, that's just unacceptable. That's just unacceptable. You're doing that against that guy's parents? Really? Really? How disgusting is that? And you see, I do personally feel like we should also maybe hold the media accountable for this too, because I'm happy the media has stood up and has said that these actions are wrong, that they should be condemned. But at the same time, they showed a lot of anger and animosity towards a lot of these players. So it also doesn't shock me that a lot of these fans are showing their pent-up anger and aggression against these players as a result. I mean, these players are human. They're there to entertain you, but at the same time, they're human. They also have emotions just like you and me. They feel, they think, they act like they're just people. They're people and they have a feelings too. You need to treat them as you would. That's the golden rule. Treat others like the way you'd like to be treated. Simple as that. Now, granted, obviously that even has limits itself, but these guys didn't do anything to you. I mean, so what? They beat or are facing against your favorite team. So what? It's sports. It's not life or death. It's not politics. It's not political. I mean, yeah, they may have more left-wing positions, but who cares? It's not going to affect you. I mean, yeah, they have power. Yeah, they have millions of dollars, but it's not going to affect how your life is. Come on, man. Give me a break. But still, just the NBA, I want to say the NBA needs to do something about this. But if I'm being honest, you can't get rid of the bad apples of the bunch. I mean, you can't get rid of. Fact of the matter is, you just can't. Sorry, it's just that I don't know how the NBA. I mean, the NBA has had lifetime bans for these people, but that's still not stopping them. I mean, they may have death penalties and life in prison, but that's not stopping people from committing crimes. I mean, I'm seeing some like analysts say, "Hey, let the players go in and duke it out with those fans." I mean, I guess that could work, but also we know from back from the Malice of the Palace back in 2004, 2005, that hasn't exactly helped out the players too much now, has it? No, it really hasn't, because that was a very, very bad that's one of the darkest days in league history. I mean, if you were to have a player go in and beat up a fan, I guarantee you a lot of people are going to point their fingers at the player way before the fan, because the fan is anonymous. It's a private citizen, but the player, player is a public figure. Player is a public figure with their own social media platform and their own influence. They could say a lot more stuff and get away with it if they were to say it against a player, if the player was to do that. So even though I can't blame people for wanting to do that, it's still not exactly the best decision. But I can't blame people in that emotion. I mean, it's the same situation with the fans too. I mean, the fans and even the players, they have a lot of adrenaline, very excited, and very, very passionate. Fans are probably, some of them are drunk. The players are probably so full of testosterone from playing. They still need to cool a lot of that off. So we have all this built up adrenaline, all this built up, intensity. It's going to lash out. And in this case, it lashed out at certain players. And these fans who bought thousands of dollars for these tickets are going to be held accountable. And, tough. You shouldn't have done it. Simple as that. Don't be racist. Don't throw stuff at fans. Treat them with respect. And you'll be fine. As simple as that. It shouldn't be that hard. But for some people, it is. It is that hard. Maybe it was not their intention, but we know what their intention was. They knew what they were doing. All 6 of them. I don't care for them. They're not getting any sympathy points from me. They're not getting any brownie points from me. They're not getting any, they're not getting any, shucks from me. You did it. You did it to yourself. No one to blame but the man in the mirror. Yourself. Is it racism? It might be. A little bit. Won't be that shocked. Especially, obviously, in the Jazz situation. Celtics, maybe. Sixers and Knicks, I'm not so sure. But it just goes to show you that even when things are getting better in America, even then, you still have a whole lot of work to do. And you're seeing it here in sports with the pent-up aggression, the pent-up anger. And it's a shame, too. We should be talking about how great of a game Kyrie Irving had. We should be talking about how great of a game Kevin Durant had. We should be talking about how the Celtics fans should look at their own team and say, man, we beat the Wizards in the play-in round. We made it to the first round of the playoffs. We're getting our goose is getting cooked against the Nets. We need to make sure we beat them in Game 5, do or die, or else our season is over. But instead, we're thinking about the actions of what one fan did. What one fan did to Kyrie Irving just because of what he did to his team. If you're that mad, get mad at your own team. Get mad at Jason Tatum. Get mad at, Marcus Smart. Get mad at those players. Get mad at Brad Stevens. Get mad at everyone from the Celtics for not playing better, for not managing the Nets better. Get mad at them. What, you're going to get mad at Kyrie Irving for beating up on his old team? It happens. It's sports. Get over it. There's better things in life. You pay good money for those tickets. Really see that all go to waste? Because you decided to throw, you couldn't let your emotions get the best of you, and decided to throw a bottle at a Dasani bottle at a player. What if that hit him? Good. You should be arrested. You almost hit someone. You almost assaulted someone. Who cares? We all know who you are. And what's worse for you is that that's going to be looked on you for the rest of your life. I mean, imagine getting permanently banned from anything. From TD Garden. A place that I'm pretty sure this guy went to many, many times in his life. Wearing his Kevin Garnett's championship jersey and everything. And he's never going to go to it again. He's probably never going to go to... He can't go to a Celtics game. Probably can't go to a Bruins game. Can't go to any concerts. Can't go to anything. Can't go to anything ever again. All because he decided to throw a bottle at Kyrie Irving because he was mad that his favorite team lost. Think about that for a second. Just think about that. Let that process through your mind. And, Jazz fans, same thing. Sorry. Can't go to the stadium? Too bad. Don't be racist. Sixers fan? Don't want to go to Wells Fargo? Can't go to any Flyers or Sixers games? Don't throw shit. Don't throw anything at people. The Knicks fan spitting at Trae Young? Don't spit at people. Don't spit at people. MSG. Pay good money. Not good enough. Throw it all away. I had a heat of the moment. Passion's growing. Not going through your mind. But at the same time, you also need to look at yourself and realize that everything, realize that a lot of this stuff comes back to you. It could be racism. It could be ignorance. It could be a lot of things. But either way, the fans need to look themselves in the mirror and realize, is this worth doing it? Is this worth? That's true. They're not going to listen. They're not going to listen. Like I said, they banned all these other fans. Not going to stop. It's increased. I can say it till I'm blue in the face. You're going to still see some more fans. Of course, it is just plain stupid. I agree. It is plain stupidity. And, there's lots of stupid people in the world. But, like I said, we should not let these fans dictate. Yeah, sure, the Raiders in Oakland, they're known for that. Going after it. I mean, when their final game in Oakland, you had fans that just threw, like, nacho chips all at them. And what'd that do? Obviously, it was some fans. It wasn't all the fans. But guess what? There's an old expression, the bad apple spoiled the bunch. And we've seen these incidents with the Celtics fans and the Jazz fans, where this and the Sixers fans, all this does is just ruin and sully the reputation of these fans. And again, like the Raiders, it's just sad. It's sad. Yes, your team blew a lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the final ever home game in Oakland Coliseum. I get it. It could be upset. Oh, I can't even imagine. It's got to be embarrassing for those fans too. But to throw that stuff against, that's the last time you're ever going to see your team there. And, I can understand getting mad at your team for it. But, at the same time, you're also, yeah, I understand it. And there are also some fans that were trying to justify, what that Celtics fan did against Kyrie Irving because of his history with the team. And I understand, I get it. Okay, I don't get the Jazz fans. I do not get the Jazz fans. That's just disgusting. I do not get we're still in a pandemic, but we're still in a recover for it and allow more people. Those fans are you part of that. Those awful fans are ruining things. Yeah, they've ruined it for a lot of people. Again, bad apples ruin the bunch. As simple as that. Like, we need to make sure. There's way too many people that want to blame the actions of just a couple fans on all the fans. Just say that this one person signifies how all of them are like, and that's just not true. That's not true. Those images of that very famous picture from Boston where it was the guy that was, I forgot who it was, but it was stabbing an American flag against someone else. Blame the Raiders NBA players. I don't think it's about the super teams thing. I mean, there's been super teams going on for decades. I mean, it even goes back to the 60s and the 70s or, even before that. So I'm not really blaming that, but at the same time, I do believe that, I definitely do feel like, but at the same time, players do have the freedom to go choose wherever you want to go. If you don't like it, so what? I mean, imagine having that kind of money and making those decisions. It is different when teams do it, true. But still, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the NBA is having an issue right now, especially in the playoffs. Fans are coming back. They're very excited. They're seeing their emotions go up. But I also know that we're coming off a year with increased murder rates in many cities. We've seen, protests and riots in many places. People have been questioning the pandemic. It's just been crazy. Yes, it is a spirit of competition, but it's passion, and passion can get the best of you. And I understand it, but there's also a point where people have to draw the line. And Jazz definitely drew the line. Celtics drew the line. Yeah, still, but it's also like but still, like super teams are not. I don't think the super team situation is the reason as to why that Celtics fan did it. Oh yeah, the super team, yeah, but that's a little different though. But I would say that these issues going on right now in the NBA with the fighting, I don't think that says anything to do with super teams. I believe it's just. I mean, I do feel like that's true. They do hate it. They do. I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, maybe they can increase cap restrictions, but I don't really know what they can really do with that, though. I I think another reason as to why they probably do it is because they feel like, hey, I can do. Yeah, they did hate KD for going for Warriors. People were very angry about him for that, but at the same time, a lot of these people obsess over the ring so much, and I mean, if you're listening to that constantly, you can't blame others for saying, you can say ring chase all you want. Yeah, that's true, but people also want to get a championship whenever as best they can. You go to the place where you have the best chance to win, so I can't blame them on that perspective. I mean, I think another reason why these fans tend to do it is because like they feel like, hey, if the player gets at me, their goose is cooked. But if I do it, I'm just an anonymous fan. They're not going to know who I am. It's like yeah, they could get affected, but they feel like they can get away with it because they know that the fan, they're contacting the coach. Yeah, that is true. Like I said, I understand that there is bad blood between the Celtics and Kyrie Irving. The fan base, yes, but to throw a water bottle, what if that missed Kyrie? What if that hit someone else? What would you do then? Like, it's still like I'm noticing also this pent up aggression and anger that a lot of people have too in America. Like, it doesn't have to just go with sports; it just has to go with everything, politically, socially. I wouldn't be shocked if we are going to see more of these instances. I mean, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, you should never go there. I hope we don't. I just worry that this could be even worse down the road. And I'm afraid that we could be there if we're not wise enough. Oh yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, don't burn your jerseys, people. Like you paid good money for it. I mean, it's your property. You can do whatever you want, but you can do whatever you want. But understand that you're never getting that money back. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that's really just what I want to say. That's my little spiel about it. We're gonna see. I think we're gonna see more of these instances in the NBA. I think the league needs to crack down on this. They're doing a good job so far. The teams are, um, and I don't know if I don't know how you could. Oh yeah, the pandemic's gonna everyone crazy. I mean, the George Floyd protests. I think a big reason why they even got so big was because of the pandemic, and plus just the horrific way that he died. It's just everything just changed as a result, and you're still seeing some residuals of it in still some areas, like how even crime has gone up because of the pandemic. They're too emotional to predict people. Well, yeah, they are also kind of sensitive. That is true, but at the same time, we're exposed to so much stuff. I mean, my generation has been exposed to God knows how many shootings, mass shootings that we've seen. You can't blame people for feeling a little bit soft and very, very insecure. I mean, but when they do act their way, it comes in large, large spurts and just comes out in full force. And it's writing. Yeah, that's right. Writing's never okay. Burning stuff down's not okay. This is not okay. Simple as that. It's not okay. But at the same time, I know that I can say it till I'm blue in the face. It's not going to matter. People are still going to do it. I mean, not going to matter. People can ban things once they want. Doesn't matter. You're still going to have it. My protest, we didn't riot. That's good. That's good. I'm happy about that. I'm happy. There's some that have gotten very violent, but I have seen some that have protested very peacefully. It's all about both sides. Both sides need to be very calm and understand that in order to make sure you get what you want, you also got to make sure you build up both sides. You can't just vilify. You also need to be pretty fair. That's where you get your message across to as many people as possible. But what do you guys think the NBA should do? I'm gonna leave this with this note. The NBA will be stricter rules. The NBA should have stricter rules, but how would you, if you ran the NBA, how would you, when the NBA has stricter rules, like if you had a way to reduce this amount of fan hostility, harassment, fighting, and near assault, with all these instances of fan altercation in the NBA, we are having lifetime bans. Besides just lifetime bans, what else would you do? I'm going to leave you all on that note. It's getting pretty late for me here in Long Island, so I'm going to clock out right now. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I always appreciate you watching and listening to whatever I say. I really appreciate it. I only have one more semester to go at Hofstra, then I graduate in December. Make sure to subscribe to Zennie62 Media if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the notification bell if you want to be notified for all future videos from me, Zennie, Bill, and many, many others. Make sure to like this video because it could help us in any way we can. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers and have a great day and happy Memorial Day to everyone involved in America. Cheers. Nice. Thanks, 8 Night. Your works out. Thanks. Good night. Good night, everyone.